So why are Republicans so interested in Bill and Hillary Clinton? It's because they're trying to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children. So I encourage the press to go look at these allegations. And I'm highly disturbed that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche just got the law wrong. Yesterday, he said essentially that it is not a crime to party with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, that's actually not correct. If Jeffrey Epstein was human trafficking minors for these sex parties, and you show up and patronize the establishment at that party, yes, you're guilty because patronizing is part of the law, of the federal sex trafficking law. So Deputy General Todd Blanche just got that wrong, which maybe explains why they aren't investigating all these folks, including Donald Trump. He needs to read the law and investigate these people. He also needs to resign, not only for not knowing the law, but a massive, not only screw up, but the biggest privacy violation in history. They release a lot of pictures of minors unredacted, just violated the privacy of these girls. It is uncalled for what they did. The one thing that they could not do under this law was to invade the privacy of these women now who were girls at the time who were victims of sex trafficking. Also, he met with Ghislaine Maxwell, moved her to a minimum security prison, and then got a puppy for her. So for all those reasons, he's just got to leave the Department of Justice.
Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, all praise, all honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and you just saw there on the screen they're talking about Emperor Nero and some of the allegations that are out from this report that has been released. And we've all heard of this report. We've been hearing about it for years at this point, and little bit after little bit it's being released here and there, and people around the world, well, start out here in America. People here in America, Babylon the Great, are finally seeing that we're ruled over by a bunch of scumbags, by some of the lowest forms of humanity are actually ruling over us. And that's who we call our governors and our senators and our presidents and our judges and our celebrities and athletes. It's basically everybody that all your public figures are involved in some really sketchy, nasty stuff. And it's being called out finally. And the Wada Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, call Halalim Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, because he's exposing the devil. These Edomites, so called white people, including those tiny tops, they're not your Christians, they're not the Lord's people. These are the Edomites of the Bible, so called devil, the wicked of the Bible. And this is the stuff that they do. They go around taking, they steal, they kill, and destroy children, babies. And this is how something they've been doing for a very long time. And this is an old practice. You see it in the Bible with sacrifices to Moloch, and that's what they're doing today. There's no new thing under the sun. And these are the same people that were the Greeks, and they had their catamites, their little boy servants. So what else would you expect from them? This is what they do. These are profane people. This is the basest of men, as the scripts call it. And these are, murderers of children. These are terrible people. They are being called out, and the world is seeing it. That skirt is being lifted on Babylon and Western civilization in general, because you see it you see people across the pond, different royals included in this, like Prince Andy and Princess Fergie. You're seeing them included in this, and it is Western civilization. It's the beast system that is over us. That is wicked and just depraved. These are the wicked, and they are being exposed. But this video right here, he's going into the king of Babylon, into God Emperor Nero himself, and you're seeing him try to brush off these reports. He's trying to double down, pretend like he's not even in them, but he is. He's an Edomite, and he's not of the elite, but he is up there to where, yeah, of course he does these things. That's what Edomites do, and you're starting to see that we see these things in our institutions and nothing's been done about it, like in the Catholic Church forever, just because of the people in power, these Edomites, so-called white people, including the tiny tops. That's something that they do, and it's never going to stop until Yahweh Shai removes them from power. Isaiah 63, he's got to come back and physically take them down. And every bit of their power has to be taken away. These people are the basest of men. They're the great example of how not to be, and they're being revealed and exposed, and the judgment is on the way. Once World War III starts, it's over for them. And so just go ahead, push out your micro C-hip, push out that MOTB, because you're done. People aren't going to be able to, America can exist with everybody understanding that these are deviants in the worst way. This is why we have so many missing children around this country, because of these people at the top feeding off of them, drinking the adrenochrome and torturing these children. These are terrible people, and they're being exposed. But I wasn't going to make this very long. I just wanted to get this one at Jeremiah 50 and verse 43. And to preface this is talking about the destruction of Babylon, which it goes out via nuclear missiles. And you can just read one verse above at 42. It reads just like Joel, the second chapter, and all those missiles in array. But considering the report that has been out, I think this one fits quite well, because the scriptures are manyfold. And so Jeremiah 50 and verse 43, it says, the king of Babylon, so God Emperor Nero himself, the king of Babylon, hath heard the report of them. And this ain't talking about the king of ancient Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. This is prophecy. It's talking about America. Who else could you call the hindermost of the nations? Who else could you call the hammer of the earth? And ancient Babylon, modern day Iraq, was not destroyed perpetually. It was a calculated strike. You can read Daniel, the 5th chapter, on that. That's how that happened, you Christians. You Christians that don't read the book. Silly Christians. This is Babylon the Great, and you're just afraid because you know Babylon is linked to Edom, in which it is. Because once Babylon falls, or Babylon and Edom's judgments mirror each other. They both go down together. It says, the king of Babylon, so Emperor Nero, hath heard the report of them. You see this report that is going around. You've heard the things that are in it, and he's heard the things that are in it. He participated in it. He knows it. And so he's heard the report of him being with Bubba, having Bubba in his mouth. Slick Willie, another emperor of this wicked land. We've heard the report of you slapping that underage girl who had not passed the flower of her youth in the face because she used some teeth on you. We've heard the report. We've heard the report of your wife and that she's just one of Jazzy Jeff's girls. We've heard the report. You've heard the report. And Emperor Nero has also heard the report of the prophets. He's heard the report, starting with the apostles and elders of the Great Millstone. He's heard the report that his nation is going to be nuked. He's heard the report that he's going to lose World War III. He's heard the report that he's going into slavery with chains, and the report that his people are going to be completely taken off of this earth after they serve out that slavery. He's heard the report. He's heard this carnal report that is going around the earth that everybody is looking at, that's making you a laughing stock, a gazing stock all around the world. And you've heard the report of the prophets. And what's that report making you do? And his hands waxed feeble. That report is making your hands wax feeble. You're growing weaker and weaker. And you can see all of Idumea, so-called white people, including the tiny tops. And when I say so-called white people, it doesn't include every single one of them. Not all of them through their father's lineage go back to Esau, Edom, but for the most part, they do. It's an identifier of which nation they are. You really tell by the spirit, and so, no, not every single white person and not every single tiny top actually goes back to Edom. Some of them go back to Israel, some of them go back to another nation, but the ones that go back to Edom, they're waxing weaker and weaker. They've heard this report too. They've been hearing the prophets. They've been hearing us call them Edomites, not actually being white people. And it grinds their gears. And it gets them, and it's making them weaker. That's why they're trying to have this last little stand. It's okay to be white. White man fight back. White America grow again. It's just not going to happen, man. You guys are the devil. You guys are the basest of men. You're the worst option to have ruling over the earth or having any power whatsoever. And again, you were Edomites. You had a temporary blessing of the fatness of the earth and over the sword. And now it's time for you to wax feeble. Your power is waning in the Wada Yahweh Bashem Awashai. And Jacob's up next, and you guys have to pay for your sins, for your crimes against humanity, your crimes against Israel, your crimes against Yahweh Shai, and your blasphemy. You gotta pay. You gotta pay. It says, anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail. So just grabbing onto the stomach, crawling over. Just look what you gotta deal with. You have to deal with everybody knowing that you have Bubba in your mouth. You have to deal with everybody knowing that you laid down with women or with girls, with little girls that had not passed the flower of their youth. You got to deal with this. You got to deal with everybody knowing that your beloved, your wife, is just one of these girls, which I'd actually imagined that, and she is turning out she is. Everybody knows that you are a piece of SHIT. You are disgusting. You're falling out of power, and it couldn't be any quicker. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakach, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.